And they explained to Dean, hey, look, first of all, we already know who we want, and you need to go back and tell them this is who we want, and that's the way it's going down. And that's basically how it works. You know, no matter what guys might say, at that age especially, nothing goes down without the girl's approval. And most of the time, you might think you're about to hook up with this girl, but that's not the way it goes down. They tell you who you hooking up with. Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy CB, and we are here to review the 5th episode of the Wonder Years. This episode is called The Lock-In. And the Wonder Years is, you know, continues to be that show in the same vein that it was back when I was growing up. It's a coming-of-age tale about a young man growing up in the southern United States. And, you know, this is episode, it falls right in line with that. You know, this is about a lock-in, which is a function that is done for kids in that, you know, pre-teenage range before their, you know, raging hormones hit. The adults feel that it's a good time to get, you know, both boys and girls together and keep them locked in overnight. I still don't know. Well, first of all, I don't know if that's a practice that's continued into today, especially the way kids interact. But back, even when I was a kid, it was something that was still done. So, you know, it's just one of those things. I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know if it's something that's done in the white community. I know it's definitely done in the black community where they get kids together during those years, and you know they get locked in, and you know, to be honest, it's a lot of illicit stuff that goes on during those lock-ins. And this lock-in is, you know, this was sponsored by the church. They actually start off, you know, well, they start off talking about how kids in the 60s weren't as, you know, parents in the 60s weren't as protective over their kids as they are now, to the point where you could, you know, go to the store and buy your parents a pack of cigarettes if you had to. But, of course, these days, none of that is allowed. You have to actually be 21 to buy tobacco products now. So all of that's different. But as they go into church, they talk about being in church on a Sunday, how that's a long ordeal. And they start talking about this lock-in. Now, at first, Dean can't imagine why anybody would want to be locked in the church overnight. But then he goes and talks to Kim about it, and Kim is telling Dean, like, that's where she got her first kiss. Now Dean's intrigued. Now Dean's thinking to himself, if Kim got her first kiss at the lock-in, maybe I could get with Keisha. And that's all he could think about. Meanwhile, his pops is trying to figure out how he can get a hold of the guy that killed Kiss in a lockout. And, you know, to the point he's looking up his phone number and everything. But Dean's intrigued. And, of course, as we've seen in past episodes, as soon as Dean finds out some new information, first thing he does is go and tell his friends about it. And so he goes to school, tells his friends that, you know, Kim told him that that's what some kissing is going down. And all his friends are with it, you know, especially Corey, because, you know, Corey's you know, he's a feisty young man, to say the least. So they all with it. And so they get there, and, you know, the pastor lays down everything that's going to happen. Now, one thing that the pastor did say in church is that, you know, his daughter Charlene would be participating for the first time. And so she's there, Dean's there, Keisha's there, and then all of Dean's boys are there. And they're trying to figure out who's going to match up with who. And, of course, Dean is all about Keisha. He's making sure that nobody picks Keisha because that's his girl. And one of his boys even said, hey, we know that you want Keisha. we wouldn't be your friends if we picked her. And so Dean gets caught up with some of the girls that are there, and they put all those plans to shame because they got plans of their own. And they explain to Dean, hey, look, first of all, we already know who we want, and you need to go back and tell them this is who we want, and that's the way it's going down. And that's basically how it works. You know, no matter what guys might say, at that age especially, nothing goes down without the girl's approval. And most of the time, you might think you're about to hook up with this girl, but that's not the way it goes down. They tell you who you hooking up with. And that's fine. You know what I'm saying? And the guys, they go along with it, doing the watching of the Ten Commandments, starring Charlton Heston. And, you know, back in the day, even when I was a kid, now I looked this up because I was curious. That movie came out in 1956. And even though they finally did replace it with a new version, they showed that Charlton Heston version of the Ten Commandments at least until I was in high school. And I think they still show it, especially on Easter Sunday. They still show it on ABC. And, you know, it's one of the most, I should say, iconic biblical movies of all time. So, of course, that's what they're watching in the church. And the lights go down, and all the, you know, girls are sitting with the guys that they want during the movie. Now, Dean had plans on sitting with Keisha, but his plans were put on the back burner for Charlene's plans. Charlene actually approached him and said, Dean, I got my popcorn and raisinets over here mixed. That's the way I like to eat them, so I went ahead and did yours too. And your seat's right over here. And even though he's trying to sit with Keisha, Charlene's like, she already cleared it with Keisha, so you need to come on over here and sit down. And it's not going the way that Dean thought it was going to go. In fact, he goes over and talks to his boys about it, and he's trying to you know, put Charlene off on one of his boys. And they telling him, like, look, this could be a good thing for you. You can make Keisha jealous by paying more attention to Charlene. And so he goes with that. And when they actually go and they actually go to the sanctuary for their little, you know, after hours party that they having. And, you know, things get a little serious because Charlene takes Dean in the back where the baptismal pool is. It's just the two of them back there. And she puts a kiss on. And his reaction is the worst. He basically pushes her into the pool. And it's at that moment that the pastor and his mom, who also decided to chaperone the event, comes in and catches them. They send everybody to bed. Charlene and Dean, they both busted. So it's a real ugly situation. And even after that, Dean goes and finds Charlene, and he apologizes. They talk about it. Charlene lets him know, hey, look, I know that you like Keisha. You look at her the same way I look at you. And it's that moment that Dean realizes that Charlene really actually likes him, and that maybe, you know, he was kind of wrong about the whole thing. And so they kiss again, and it's a much better kiss this time. And so they go back to, you know, church the next week. And this time, you know, everything is a little bit different. The kids, Dean and Charlene, they looking at each other through the pews and smiling. Lillian and Bill apologize to the pastor for anything Dean might have done to upset the situation. But most importantly, now Keisha's looking at Dean a little different. And, you know, they talk about that, and they talk about how the fact that he might have been looking for his first kiss with Keisha at the lock-in, but the events that happened at the lock-in might still lead to that situation. So, yeah, this is one of those episodes that I think everybody, regardless if you had actual lock-in or not, I think everybody had that, you know, special occasion where they got their first kiss. And it's one of the most memorable things that you can do as a young adolescent is get that first kiss, that first real kiss, you know what I mean? And they did a good job of really getting into the psychology of it, how it might not be with the girl that you might want it to be with, but it's usually still a good event regardless, at least from the guy's perspective. I don't know. Maybe some of the women can leave in the comments how y'all feel about, the whole dynamic of the girls choosing who they're going to be with. Is that how it really goes down? Or do y'all just pick who you think you can get with? Let me know. I always love to hear from you. Hey, that's my review. Make sure y'all come back and check out the finale of the Wu-Tang reviews. And we getting into the new show Queens as well. Is there something else that you want me to review? Let me know. There's a lot of shows out there. There's a lot of movies out there. Maybe you want me to do some of those. I don't know. I just want to, give the people what they want. Also, I just love movies and TV, so I'll pretty much watch whatever. I'll just do the shows and stuff that I do right now because that's the stuff that I'm most interested in. It's the stuff I want to talk about the most. But I also know that there's people out there that want to hear different things. So if that's the case, let me know what's happening. You can hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at The Rude Educator. Hey, I'm CB. You be who you be, and we out. Peace.